Hey everyone, I'm Scott Cunningham, aka Scottsy Business, and today we're going to be looking at some of the many times that celebrities have endorsed cryptocurrencies, promoted them, whatever it happens to be, and they didn't there's instances where they didn't disclose that they were being paid to do this, pump and dumps. The coins are just terrible. The project is terrible. People lost the majority of their money, or it's a straight out 100% scam that they've been illegitimately involved with. We're going to cover a bunch of these examples, and these are no small examples by any means. These are huge, very important celebrities, rappers, athletes, some of the top people around the world. We're going to jump into some of these examples and talk about it. But essentially, the too long didn't read version of this, or the very quickly, easily summarized version of this, is don't buy things based on celebrity or influencer endorsements of any kind, especially if they're coming out with their own cryptocurrencies, or it's some new random cryptocurrency and they're endorsing it, or whatever it happens to be. Always be very skeptical and never invest on something based on, celebrity endorsements. You should be looking at the fundamentals, at the tokenomics, looking at what the use case is of the cryptocurrency. None of this is financial advice, by the way. This is financial entertainment, if you will. But stay tuned, and we're going to be diving into a ridiculous amount of examples after a quick word from my sponsor today, which is actually, again, me. I am the sponsor today again. So I couldn't put a sponsor on this video because I might get a lot of flack because of all the famous people that are going to be included. But if you would like to help me out, you could sponsor the like button by giving it a quick little tap. And you can also subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Helps me out a bunch. All right, let's jump into it. So the first one we have today is Kim Kardashian with EtherMax. There was no white paper. There was very little information. I don't even think it's trading anymore. Like, you can't even find any information or track the price. But ETHMax or EtherMax was 100% illegitimate. Kim Kardashian and Paul Pierce were the ones who were pushing this one. And yeah, as you can see here, yeah, it lost a third of its value in just 24 hours from when they started. And yeah, now you can't even find it. So yeah, this was basically a scam, in my opinion. Let's go on to the next one. We're not going to spend a lot of time on each of these because there's a ridiculous amount. If you guys can see all these tabs here. So we're going to be just jumping through them quickly. I don't have time to, in depth go through every single thing that happened. And shout out to CoffeeZilla, because he did a lot of the research for a lot of these. And some of these are more obviously scams than not, because I don't know if, if Kim Kardashian was forced to pay anything or fined. But in a bunch of these cases, people were fined by the SEC. So it was 100% illegitimate. But, it's hard to say if a project was just bad or if they were, doing something illegitimate. So a lot of these projects are just bad. I'm not saying every single one was a scam, but either way, the result is the same, that you should not be involved with these celebrity-endorsed cryptocurrencies. Floyd Mayweather and DJ Khaled both promoted a cryptocurrency that was, I don't know if it, well, I guess it was technically a scam, right? Because even after the ICO, they pleaded guilty to fraud. So basically 100% it was a scam. It was Centra, CTR. And Floyd Mayweather and DJ Khaled both promoted it without actually, letting people know that they were being paid. So that is a big no-no for the SEC, and they were fined a pretty hefty amount. It was like $300,000, $400,000 or something like that for Mayweather, and significantly less for DJ Khaled. But either way, it's I don't think they get a big enough fine for these kinds of things, because it's like, sure, they got fined on this one thing, but how much money are they making on other promotions and stuff where they are disclosing it, or they weren't caught? That's the thing you always got to wonder. This is just the stuff we're looking at today, is just the stuff that we know about. So we're not going to be looking at anything that hasn't already been pretty much diving into. STX, this is a famous tennis player. There's actually a lot of athletes tennis players, soccer players, a lot of athletes that are doing these kinds of, whether it's like a sketchy cryptocurrency that they're working with or they're creating their own fan token. A lot of fan tokens fail. I'm going to be doing a whole episode on terrible ideas for cryptocurrency. Any kind of fan token, terrible. And all the ones that I've seen have basically tanked. But yeah, so this was another one, STX. So he promoted it. It's down now from 90 cents to 1 cent. AKA, if you invested anything in STX, you pretty much lost all of your money. That's insane. All right, on to the next. The SEC sued John McAfee. Rest in peace. He's not with us anymore, but he probably has one of the most egregious cases because he promoted 7 different ICOs, making more than $23 million in promotion money, and it was all undisclosed. That is pretty wild. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. He did a lot for this space. He's no longer with us, but he's definitely by far the most egregious example of someone doing undisclosed promotions. And, it's a big no. And a lot of people probably lost a lot of money because of that. FaZe Clan. This one is especially bad because this was an all-out scam. And it was supposed to be for a charity to save children. It was literally called Save the Kids, and the token was called Kids Token. And, this is 100% a scam because after everything happened, multiple members from the FaZe Clan esports team were suspended, and this is K, I believe. He was fully removed from the team. So clearly, it was pretty significant. And I mean, it's that much worse when it's a charity scam, and it's even that much worse when you're rich and you're doing a charity scam, and it's even that much worse when you're rich doing a charity scam and it's supposed to be for helping children. Really bad look. All right, on to the next one. Of course, I'm not going to pay for this. But this one was talking about Imogen Heap, or however you say her name, from Harry Potter. She promoted a project called Mycelia, and it was supposed to help musicians and creators on the blockchain, but it basically got abandoned. And like most projects, it was just promises and not products or, actual things that they came out with. And that is most coins, by the way. Scams or not scams, whatever. Most projects are just promises and not products. I've always opted in to only invest in things that have solid products and use cases, never promises. It's very important to me. Tech Lead. So this guy is a famous YouTuber who started Million Token. He lied about how much money he put in, bunch of different aspects of it. I'm pretty sure he's on the way to jail now because he was they found him guilty and he pleaded guilty for fraud or something like that. CoffeeZilla covers this in much more in depth. But the Million Token was a huge bust. It's way down. Currently, it's down 92% from its all-time high. So, yeah, a lot of these tokens being created or endorsed by celebrities, they don't have real use cases behind them, and thus they get pumped originally and then dumped. Whether or not it was intentionally a pump and dump is beside the point. When you create something that doesn't have a clear use case, doesn't have clear fundamentals, there's really no reason for it to exist. They can get pumped simply because a famous person is backing it or they have endorsements, but then right after that, it's more than likely to just lose all of its hype and all of its momentum and then dump, essentially. So, and with a lot of these coins, it's like 90% plus losses from their all-time high for most of these coins. So you got to keep that in mind. Next, we have Logan Paul, who did 2 scams in just less than a year. He started off with Dink Doink, claiming that it was some really cool coin that he found, when really him and his entire team owned like 80% of it. They invested a ton. They made it themselves. And then they pretended to have stumbled onto it and promoted it to everyone. And that was a huge flop. Tons of money lost there. basically a scam and tons of lying and unethical things. And then second was he came out with something called Crypto Zoo, but they were just ripping off stock Adobe images while claiming that they were doing this all from scratch, hiring a ton of designers. A lot of people are scamming or illegitimately doing NFTs so lazily, where he could have easily afforded to just actually do this. But a lot of people are coming in and they're doing very lazy, terrible NFTs, and they're, copyright infringement or whatever it happens to be. It is awful. Moving on, John Wall, he did an NFT again here, but he used the background from Fortnite, so there was copyright infringement there. Again, people are really lazy with their NFTs. They do not care at all. They will just rip anything, and just a terrible, terrible idea. Nelk Boys originally got involved with Rubets, and when they cut all ties, Steve Will Do It, and I believe Lucas, another one of their members, continued working with Rubets even after all of this came to light. And recently, CoffeeZilla has been going against them relentlessly, because Rubets, essentially what they were doing was they were being given play money from the platform, and then they were pretending to gamble at high stakes in order to convince other people that it was working really well and this looks great, which is illegal to sell a product while pretending to use the product and endorsing it and not really using it yourself. And then they were also doing giveaways, but they were giving away the money to their moderators and members of their own team illegitimately, so that they never actually had to pay out any of their followers. And then they were making commissions on the money that their followers would then join and use to bet, and they would make that in commission. So very sketchy, very, very bad scam. This isn't necessarily a crypto scam, but it was on a crypto gambling platform. So either way, crypto was involved, and they basically scammed. So moving on to the next one, I wouldn't call this a scam as much as just extremely foolish, but the results are the same for all of these. Whether or not it was intentional malice or not, the result is the people who followed and listened lost a ridiculous amount of money. Mark Cuban invested in Iron by Titan Finance, and it went from $65 to 0.0000000024. The Titan token, rather. Not Iron by Titan Finance. The Titan token. And he's like, oh, well, I got rugged too. I lost money too. But he's a billionaire, so obviously he's not hurting that badly. But he made a blog post essentially claiming that you could get over 200% APY on this, which is unbelievable, because it is not believable, because it's not true. And then everyone buys it all up, and 3 days later it completely crashes, because they were just waiting for his endorsement or some celebrity endorsement to really make it pop off, and then basically dump everything. So this is a classic case of a pump and dump. Even some of the most richest, most seasoned traders in the world can fall for things like this. That's why you don't fall for crazy marketing like 200+% APY. Oh, put $100 in, and at the end of the year, you'll have $300, or put $1 million in. At the end of the year, you'll have $3 million. That's not real life. So hopefully you guys aren't falling for stuff like that. All right, next one. Steven Seagal paid $314,000 to the SEC for failing to disclose payments earned from promoting, again, ICOs. This was Bitcoin 2 Gen was the one that he promoted. Let's see if I have the amount that it went down. No, I don't. But this was basically a sketchy situation as well. He was fined. He pled guilty. Just another example of a celebrity just doing whatever they need to do to get money. Same with T.I. here. He did the same thing, except it was an actual full-on scam that he promoted, and he had to end up paying $75,000 for promoting Flick. And Flick ended up being a scam, so there you go. And I don't think that they know it's a scam and they're just like, screw it. but they just don't, they think it's going to be anonymous and they don't have to, disclose their promotions and all that kind of stuff. Maybe that's what they were thinking. I don't think a lot of them go into it specifically thinking this is a scam and let's, scam some people. But again, a lot of the intention doesn't matter if the result is you losing your money by listening to these people. Moving on to the next one. Soldier Boy, same thing. He got paid to do a tweet, did not disclose the payment. Yeah. I forget which coin it was. Oh, Safer Mars. Safer Mars. It seems like a lot of coins that throw the word safe in their name end up being scams, like Safe Moon. But yeah, so Safer Mars, he did a tweet, pretended like, he was just finding this project. Oh, this is an interesting project, looks moon worthy. And obviously he didn't disclose that he was paid all of this money, so he was fined by the SEC as well. It tends to be a lot of the time that these rappers and athletes are the ones who are doing the non-disclosed shilling versus the outright scams. But, it's kind of all over the place. Everyone seems to be doing this. So, it is what it is. And I think I missed one on Paris Hilton, so I'll just quickly mention that. She was involved with Lydian coin, and it was a scam run by a former convict. You couldn't even receive your tokens for a full year, and then the whole thing basically collapsed, and now the token is down 97% from its all-time high. So yeah, that was the whole thing. A lot of this ICO stuff happened back in 2017, but it's important to revisit this to just see how many people who are very noteworthy, who got themselves involved in scams or sketchy things or doing something that is clearly illegal and were legitimately fined by the SEC. It's pretty crazy how many people get involved with this. And in this example, and with Elon Musk, they're not even necessarily saying all the time, like, you should buy this, or I endorse this, or whatever. But Elon Musk and Gene Simmons telling people to go and buy Dogecoin, or just endorsing it heavily, knowing that it's going to be bought by a bunch of people, I think this is extremely irresponsible. Dogecoin has no use case. If you were going to argue that it had the use case of digital cash, you would be wrong, because it's still over 60 times higher fees than its competitors, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Dash, and I'm sure some others. But it is by no means a possible competitor for digital cash, and convincing people to buy it is really just a way for those people to try to make money. It's still currently down over 65% from its all-time high. Take of that what you will. And Elon Musk is, promoting everything, come rocket, all this crazy nonsense. He's just trolling and just playing around with people's money. It's great if you can get in and get ahead of it and make money from it, but he's playing with people's livelihoods, and people are losing their entire life savings doing random things based on what these people are saying. So it's kind of sad that they treat, other people's entire life savings and livelihoods as a game, as a joke. But that's the reality, and you need to be aware of that. Akon wanted to start a crypto city, Akon Crypto City, and fund it all based on Acoin. Now, this could still happen, but they started accepting money for this 3 years ago, and there's basically nothing really to show for it right now. So, take that as you will. The coin is down. Where do I have this? The coin is down about 70% from its all-time high. So even though, coins that are leading the market are up exponentially over the past 3 years, his coin really gained nothing from that. And it's just down 70% from its all-time high. So again, whether or not he really does do this, most coins invented by, promoted by, endorsed by, whatever, celebrities, influencers, etc., end up just doing terribly, as I said before, because their only real use case is that they've been promoted by someone famous. It doesn't last very long, and then people who get wise to this sell out, or the people who were waiting for this at the beginning, who knew this all was going to happen, they sell out and then they dump, and then everyone else tries to hold on, and slowly but surely over time they submit and they sell as it continues to decline and decline. Now again, this could happen, and I'm not saying that he's scamming or doing anything wrong, but even if they have good intentions, you're still down 70% from the all-time high if you went in on his coin. That's the point. We're only worried about the results. Are you going to lose money? The answer is likely yes. Jamie Foxx endorsed Robinhood when it was first starting, and Robinhood is currently down about 99% from the all-time high. Again, 99%, meaning you could put in $1 million and you'd have like $1,000. So yeah, that's a really unfortunate. Paragon coin is the one that The Game and Jessica Verstig did. So yeah, just to make sure that that was clear, let me just bring my thing back up here. This one was the one that The Game and Jessica Verstig did, and the previous one that I was just looking at, Cream Capital, this is from Ghostface Killah from Wu-Tang Clan. But I believe we've covered everything else, so I think I can end it here. But again, these are just what we know about. There could be so much more going on in the back that we just don't know about, that's about to come out, that's already happened. So much. And all of this is just, again, to say you should not be trusting or investing your hard-earned money into things based on just what influencers or celebrities or whomever are saying, because they're probably out for themselves. They're not just here to help you make money. And as we see, most of the time, regardless of intent, the end user, you and I, are the ones who are losing the money on these investments. So I hope this helps you guys. I hope this brings you back down to earth and stops you from looking for all these crazy projects everywhere. Most of my videos are just here to try to convince you guys to stop investing in crazy cryptocurrency projects and just not end up losing a bunch of your money or getting scammed, trying to take huge risks. Play the game safe. There's so much more potential risks and issues and things that you could run into that it's really just not worth risking a bunch. And most people don't have high conviction in their risky investments, so it's just a waste of a small amount of money, or a huge waste of a big amount of money if you do have high conviction, which is even more unfortunate. Because even when I talk to people about this, they say stuff like, yeah, but it's the hype right now. It's like, well, do you know anything about it? Do you know any of the basic fundamentals? And they're like, no, but like, Elon Musk is talking about it, or it's the hype right now. There's a lot of memes being posted. Very, very scary reasoning for investing your finances into something. So let me know what you guys think. Are there any celebrity endorsed successful coins that you know of? That would be very interesting to hear about. I've not seen any success stories, only story after story of failed projects, scams, etc. when it comes to celebrity endorsements. But again, a lot of these celebrities don't even have the know-how to research these coins and know what to even look for. So even if they try to do their due diligence, it's unlikely that they could actually, fully verify and test these things out. And it's hard to know sometimes. I mean, even seasoned investors like Mark Cuban can be tricked into investing and promoting a pump and dump. So no one is safe. The best thing that you can do is just be very cautious. Stick to the basics, stick to the top coins, like blue chip stock investing. Don't go investing in penny stocks. It's the same for cryptocurrency. And don't just buy things based on recommendations from random people, even recommendations from people who do know what they're talking about, like Mark Cuban. Still, a lot of times people get tricked by marketing or whatever. No one is above being scammed, essentially. So let me know what you guys think. Have you ever been scammed? Have you ever invested in any of these celebrity endorsed things? What are some that I might have missed? Was I wrong about any of these? There's so many more. Your favorite athletes, your favorite rappers, whoever, they're out there doing some sketchy stuff with crypto. So just be safe. Let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments below. And if you did watch to the very end of this video, I really appreciate it. Comment hashtag #1ham at the bottom of this video in the comments section if you watched to the very end. And that way I know that you watched to the very end. And I always very much appreciate it when you do. Anyways, I'm Scott Cunningham, aka Scottsy Business. Cheers. Stay safe out there.